there is a real major breakthrough when it comes to Indian sciences, and this one needs your attention because for a very long time, India proudly wore the title of world's pharmacy. We manufactured medicines at scale, supply affordable drugs to millions across continents, and dominate the global generic medicines market. But here's the change. There has always been one uncomfortable truth. Most of those medicines were discovered somewhere else. Today, that story changes. Because for the very first time, an Indian pharmaceutical company has discovered, developed, and taken a completely new antibiotic molecule all the way to approval by the United States Food and Drug Administration, the world's toughest drug regulator. The drug is called Zaynich, and this is much bigger than a pharmaceutical story because this is about India's entry into the elite club of nations capable of true drug innovation. The timing could not be important as well because according to the world, the doctors are fighting a silent war against what are called superbugs, bacteria that have evolved to resist multiple antibiotics. The World Health Organization has repeatedly warned that antimicrobial resistance, AMR, is one of the biggest health threats facing humanity. And globally, drug-resistant infections are linked to nearly 5 million deaths each year. India carries one of the heaviest burdens there. And the challenge is becoming even more serious because the pipeline of new antibiotics is drying up. Many major pharmaceutical companies have stopped investing in antibiotic research because the economics simply don't work out for them. They don't make enough money, which is why a breakthrough like this matters. It is significant. Zaynich is designed to fight some of the toughest drug-resistant infections seen in hospitals today. And what makes it unique is it's completely new mechanism of action. Instead of attacking bacteria through a single pathway, it strikes at multiple targets simultaneously, making it significantly harder for bacteria to survive and develop resistance. In global phase 3 clinical trials involving 530 patients across 64 hospitals, Zaynich delivered 89% cure rate. That's massive. The comparator drug, meropenem, one of the most widely used last resort antibiotics, achieved only 68.4%. And that's a substantial difference. So to understand what this actually means, what's on the anvil, what's on the cards, Dr. Ankita Baidia, infectious disease expert, with us on the broadcast. Doctor, first and foremost, how significant is this in terms of a development? The WHO has repeatedly warned that AMR resistance could become one of humanity's biggest threats. And look, India is leading the charge on that front.
Yes. So antimicrobial resistance. So whenever in our practice, we are getting these bugs which have a lot of resistance, including resistance to carbapenems, the options are very limited. Like we have to choose for certain antibiotics which are renal toxic. Zaynich, I can say cefepime-zidibactam, the molecule actually promises and has shown in results that it is going to overcome these infections where we can also treat carbapenem-resistant infections without having much side effects to different organs that we see with higher antibiotics.
Yeah.
So also the results when it has been compared to meropenem that has come in recently phase 3 trials has also shown promising outcome, that the comparison of the study has shown promising results when it comes to cefepime-zidibactam. So yes, as a clinician, I can say we are battling antimicrobial resistance. I myself am an ID physician and seeing a lot of infections in my day-to-day practice.
People are comparing this to ISRO's landing on the moon, the Indian semiconductor breakthrough, indigenous fighter aircraft success. I mean, these are aspects. And on the other hand, is this major breakthrough? Are doctors getting excited for no reason, or is this really that big of a deal?
Yes, it is. It is, because we know when we are dealing with our patients who have superbugs, we have very limited options, limited choices in those settings. And as you mentioned, antibiotics developed, not used wisely, tend to develop resistance. So as this molecule has a two combination of cefepime and zidibactam together, there is a synergy also involved of both the molecules targeting different proteins in the bacterial cell wall. And actually, this combination has the power to overcome both the enzymes and also the formation of the bacteria, leading to the death of the bacteria. So this is actually promising when it comes to our practice, and we are waiting for this drug to be successfully available for us in our practice so that we can treat effectively without much side effect.
Well, I hope so too, that it hits the market soon. I hope so too. So basically, think of it like this. If a burglar is trying to enter your house, he tries the door. If the door is locked, he can then go to the window. But with this new enhancer, this new double enzyme enhancer, what's the word for it? I think it's called a
Synergy. It's a
beta-lactam
synergy.
enhancer. That's exactly what's happening. You're closing the window and you're closing the door, and then the bacteria, this very smart bacteria, ends up dying. Do we have that right here, ma'am?
Yeah, I think you have smartly explained the mechanism in a simpler way. So that's correct because both the molecules have a pattern that they attack the bacteria from two different front. Also, the zidibactam is a beta lactamase inhibitor. It's basically an enzyme which helps to destroy, which is secreted by bacteria, and it helps to destroy the antibiotic as such. So this zidibactam has a combined effect of both these molecule, and like it is preventing the destruction of the molecule of cefepime and also adding to the synergy of destroying the bacteria itself. So beautifully explained by you, I can say. Yeah.
Right. All right. You see, the clinical trials here, ma'am, let's throw some light on that. You said meropenem is 68%. That's great efficacy over there. Clinical trials show 89% cure rate. I mean, are we to say that this is the end game for meropenem? But when we're talking about Zaynich coming into the picture, there's a catch as well. Is it going to be affordable? Is it going to be approachable by everybody else? And then you always have the misuse factor. You know, there are a lot of people that are misusing antibiotics.
So when I say comparison between meropenem and Zaynich, it is basically meropenem is already a higher antibiotic. I myself working in a tertiary care hospital, most of the time patients do get some antibiotic outside hospital and they are sick and then they are referred to us for further treatment. So we usually see a lot of drug resistant bug in our practice where in fact we get some cultures report which shows that it is resistant to meropenem. I feel that we should not be using Zaynich never as a first line treatment. Otherwise, we tend to lose this molecule also as we have lost earlier. In fact, the carbapenems, which is a higher antibiotic. It's not a carbapenem sparing drug, but yes, it should be used wherever we have a culture report which suggests that we are dealing with a carbapenem resistant infection. And as an alternative to polymyxins or other antibiotics which can be toxic to the patient, we can go ahead with this and based on the scenario, which kind of infection, the dosing and the schedule is decided.
All right. You see, ma'am, let's talk a little bit about how India has entered this elite group. We've always produced generic medicines or always become market for generics from outside. Have we shown to the world with this new chemical entity that India is becoming a true drug discovery and innovation powerhouse as well, like it should be as well?
Yes, definitely. We know there is a molecule of bacterial resistance enzyme. It is called New Delhi metallo-beta-lactamases. Now we are also coming up with an antibiotic which is going to act against certain metallo-beta-lactamases. So very true. It's a milestone for our pharma industry that we have developed this and got the FDA approval also for this molecule. And soon I think it will be available and for the use in drug-resistant infections.
The coffers were also drying up, ma'am. You see, for the longest time, people weren't investing enough in this antibiotic research. Will this now shift that dynamic a little bit? Will this now tell people that, hey, look, you can actually make, because I understand you have to make money. Businesses have to turn, into profit as well. But do you think this is going to be a game changer on that front?
So basically, we have to be wiser in our prescription to save antibiotics, whether it becomes dose, duration, or choices actually when it is required to the patient. It should never be such higher antibiotic, reserved antibiotic should never be the first line choices. If we develop a good practice, I can say yes. The problem with antibiotics earlier, why it has lost this interest in the manufacturing industry is that losing them soon as it is discovered to resistant bugs. So it's basically antimicrobial stewardship. Yeah.
I personally feel there's a massive silver lining here. There's a new ray of hope. India, known as the pharmacy of the world, and it's now constantly taking steps as a global drug innovator. But I still feel the real victory is not with this breakthrough. The real victory will be when we'll start saving lives, when this drug is actually used at hospital bedsides across India. And why just India? Let's start importing this to the rest of the world as well, exporting this, beg your pardon, to the rest of the world as well. Dr. Ankita Vaidya, infectious disease expert, many thanks for taking out the time, ma'am, and helping us put this mammoth of a breakthrough into perspective.